I was born and raised in New York City, and I went to an art high school because comic books, drawing was my passion growing up. And I remember sitting in the comic book store and just picking up the comic books. I didn't even read them, I would just admire the art, and I would love watching sci-fi movies just for the special effects. I feel God called me out of all that fantasy that was attracting me, because I really started to question why He had put me on this planet, and what was I going to do with my life? Was I really just going to draw for the rest of my life? Like, it didn't really make sense what I liked and what I should be doing. So I think God was calling me, and that's by the time all that was settling, I was in the middle of my undergrad in a state university in New York, and by then I didn't want to do another bachelor's in theology, so I figured let me just finish where I'm at. I'll finish my undergrad and then I'll go to seminary, because I had found out about the MDiv program. So I finished my undergrad in sociology in New York, and then 1 week later I started seminary up in Andrews. And it was a great experience where I would try to put roadblocks for God. I was like, God, I don't want to be a pastor. I know you're calling me to that, because I started with the money, and then God provided money. And then I said, I don't have a car. God provided me a car. And God just kept on opening the doors where I felt, okay, maybe He is calling me to be a pastor. Maybe this is His will. And it kept on encouraging me to keep going. And by the time I graduated in 2005, I interviewed with a lot of conferences, and their first question was, are you married? Are you married? Are you married? I wasn't married at the time. And that's where I felt God was leading me towards the next chapter in my life, because I felt pressure as a pastor. Well, maybe I need to get married. So that same year that I graduated, we started dating, and that was in 2005. We dated for 4 years, and it was hard because I didn't get a call until 5 years after that. 1 year after we were married in 2010, and I started as an associate or youth pastor in a church in Manhattan in New York. And that again kept on solidifying my call and giving me confidence, because I learned what it was to be in the ministering and serving. And it was just awesome, because now it wasn't just myself. Now I had Alana as my partner in ministry. And it was awesome where I was getting to feel out what ministry was, and then I wasn't doing it alone, but now I was doing it with my friend and my wife, Alana. We did that for like 2 years, and then we were at another position as a youth pastor in another church in New York. It was a Korean church, and I was the youth pastor. It was all in English, right? So that was a fun ride too. And that was 4 years ago that we came to Georgia-Cumberland, and now I've been pastoring 3 Spanish churches. And it's such a huge difference to go from the associate pastor to the senior pastor, because the buck stops here. You know, everybody looks to me. It's a lot of pressure, a high bar everybody sets, but God has helped me through these 4 years. Without God, I don't know how I would have made it. And I just want to be a little transparent and raw and vulnerable here. It's not easy, but it's so rewarding. I feel it makes me who I've came to be, because I felt God has been there every step of the way. And it's put pressure on our marriage, on our friendship with my wife. But I feel it's all been worth it, because, and not to sound cliche or corny, but we've come out stronger.
What I enjoy the most about being a pastor's wife is connecting and reconnecting people to Jesus, whether if it's children or young people. And the beginning of our ministry focused on youth ministry, and it was a lot of fun. My spiritual life is also a challenge, where I get to study in depth more and read more and preach sometimes, and I enjoy that too. And we're really blessed to be part of Georgia-Cumberland Conference, where they support us pastors' wives through the ministerial retreats, ministerial family retreats, and also pastors' wives retreats. and they do luncheons for us sometimes, like at camp meeting. We're really blessed. I feel our colleagues are not only our colleagues, they're not only his boss, but their spouses, they're my friends, and they've become confident who I can share my struggles, my challenges, but also my joys in being a pastor's wife.
Now that we're in this turning point, I guess you could say, where after ordination, it's going to be a new chapter we're going to start. I look forward to it. I feel I'm more confident now, and I'm more encouraged to see what God has in store for us.
Today is Tony's ordination day, but it's not only his ordination, it's our ordination day. It's a reassurance of the calling we received to serve God and to minister. I'm excited that I feel like we're walking with God, and today is only another day where he's telling us, you know what, take my hand, I'm with you, I'm right by you, I'm holding you, I'm carrying you during the tough times, and I'm going to supply everything you need during this journey. And I'm excited that we get to hold his hand, and very soon we're going to see him face to face, along with the rest of the souls, the beautiful souls that we've helped connect and reconnect to him.
I feel today is something symbolic of what God called me in the past. It's almost as if my human counterparts or my colleagues or my employer, however you want to say it, has caught up to what God called me. And this point in my life, I feel God has been leading me up until now, and then now everybody could testify or is witnessing that God has called me. And it's encouraging. It's really encouraging because I know my journey is barely starting, and I've been through a lot, I could say, but it's brought me to where I am, but I know there's a lot to come. Like, I know God has set me up because he has new projects, new visions for me that I have to see through. So today is going through a door, you could say, of what I've been through, but what's to come. And it's a combination of God's calling and the human approval.